Happy 2025. I know that there's lots of movement and conversations with some folks around vision boards and setting intentions, maybe even still looking back at the previous year, really looking at this upcoming year and what they want to do and accomplish and be, and all of these things. I am here actually with a different type of question. Instead of looking at what you have or didn't have last year, and instead of looking at what you'd like or who you'd like to be in this next year, I really want to invite you to take a look at what is your superpower? What is that thing you do that is a gift to you? A superpower is something that comes from a place of ease with us. It is just so much of who we be, not in what we do necessarily. What makes it a superpower is in who we be within that thing. In a time where people are really looking at checks and balances and systems and goals and numbers and lists and plans and calendars, all of those, can you deepen into what you already have access to, like your superpower? Did you know that there are some people who have no idea what their superpower is? They don't have a clue. It's like a dormant gene that's laying in them, within them, just waiting to be activated. But for other folks, they are just doing the thing and they have no idea that it's a gift that they bring to the world. Some of the ways that you can really deepen into understanding what your superpower or superpowers are is by taking a look at what your strengths include. What are your strengths? Here's what I like about that question. What I find is that people automatically go towards skills. They list the strength being skill based and something that's concrete, right? So people may say a strength of theirs is math or numbers. People may say a strength of theirs is, writing, working with their hands. People may say a strength of theirs is, being able to offer education to folks or teach people things, right? Skills are absolutely strengths, right? And we want to be able to list those in here. I actually want to invite you, though, when you think about what your strengths are, actually also think about strengths in terms of what you believe. When you think of your strengths, think about the strengths in terms of what you believe. So I'll use a personal example here. One of my strengths is having this really, really almost delusionally rigid belief that everything works out to the good of me, that the world is conspiring for my wellness and my well being and my success, that I am led by something far beyond me and that I couldn't fail even if I tried to, even if I get in my own way. That's a strength of mine because that belief really helps me to see different things in the world more as opportunities or more as things that just aren't for me rather than some character flaw or rather than some stereotypical belief that I guess I'm supposed to believe about myself or about life. So, what are your strengths, not just in terms of skill sets, but in terms of your belief systems? What beliefs do you have that has served you well? The other thing that I would think about is, or ask directly, what is it that other people say about you? What is it that other people say about you? One of the easiest rule of thumbs, if you've had different people in different places who don't talk, say similar things about you and your skill sets and your beliefs or your manner or how you come across, your energy. If you've had different people in different places saying the same thing about you, that needs to go on the list. They aren't in cahoots. They're seeing the same quality and trait. They're seeing the same being and belief system. So if you're trying to identify where you're gifted, if you're trying to identify what your superpower is, think about what other people in different places, especially, say about you. What I often see with that is people usually dismiss it as a superpower because they're like, well, it's no big deal. Of course, I took 150 words and categorized them within three buckets because that's really all they were in 10 minutes. No big deal. Our superpowers and gifts can often feel like no big deal. If you're still not sure, if nothing's popping up just yet, one, you'll be able to think about it afterward. And two, what you can consider is what do you enjoy and what brings you joy? If you're trying to take a look at where you're gifted, where you have superpowers, think about what lights you up. Think about what lights you up. What makes you lean in? What makes you pay attention in a way that just speaks to your soul? And if you still got nothing, I invite you to think about what is it that you admire about a younger version of yourself? What is it that you admire about a younger version of yourself? Those tend to be gifts that we are naturally born with. Even if life circumstances has happened and perhaps we've stopped doing them, perhaps our protective patterns have gotten in the way and has caused it to be dormant. Think about something within your younger version of yourself that you really admire. It could be being outspoken, being curious. I was always into something, right? It could be standing up for people. It could be standing up for yourself. Maybe it was in how much you really empathized with what others were feeling. What is it that you admire about younger versions of yourself? Take some time to really take a look at each of these questions, feel into and experience each of these questions, and connect with where your gifts are. You may write it on a piece of paper. If you find yourself saying no big deal, put three checks next to it because it means it's the thing, right? If you find yourself not being sure, write it on a piece of paper and just carry it around with you. That's it. No specific thing or practice or anything. When you come to what you're listing as your gifts and you're not quite sure, write it on a piece of paper and just have it somewhere that you can access it. And you will notice how often that skill, that gift, that belief serves you in your life. So as you look at 2024, as you look forward within 2025, I want to invite you to be present with yourself and look at what it is that you have right now, today, that best serves you.